Ball State Sports Links Be a Fan is driven by Muncie Nissan.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Ball State Sports Links Be a Fan show driven by Muncie Nissan. I'm your host, Chris Renkel. This month we take a look at several members of the soccer team, a women's golfers into some extreme pastimes, and several field hockey seniors, and we also get to talk to the head women's soccer coach. So let's jump right on in. The Ball State soccer team has undergone a transformation. Just look at the past few seasons. A new coach last year, and this year, a brand new soccer complex. One of the rising stars on the team is junior Skylar Chew. And as Katie Hawkins and Kevin Thurman tells us, over the summer, Skylar gained a new respect for everything she has in Muncie after a trip abroad where she experienced life on the other side of the bench. And this story presented by Fox College Sports.
Last summer, I went to Peru through the organization called Projects Abroad, and I was involved in 2 placements over there. One was teaching in a kindergarten in the mornings, and then in the afternoons I went to one of 4 different cities to coach soccer for a soccer club. Basically founded to give kids a chance to be involved in something, to give them opportunities that they otherwise wouldn't have. When I got there, I was pretty unsure of how the soccer was going to go, and it was really difficult because they spoke Spanish, and my Spanish isn't that great. First time that I walked to the field, I kind of just got a ball out and just started juggling with it to kind of break the ice. And some of the little boys just stood there and watched with their eyes wide, and they were like, wow, like, look. And even on the bus rides to the cities that I would coach, people would ask me what I would do, and I would say, I'm here to coach soccer. And they would just be shocked. They're like, as a girl, like, you play? Like, they couldn't believe that because girls there don't play soccer at all. So it was just very different for them to learn from a female. One city I worked at was Calca, which is the same city my kindergarten was in, and it was the poorest city for the soccer, and all they had to play on was a dirt playground that was in a barbed wire fence, and it was cool to see the different kind of sides of soccer. These kids just come from homes that they just don't have a lot of resources. They didn't have good drinking water. And one time I had a bottle of water and I was at the field and I was drinking it, and a little boy ran up to me and I figured out he was thirsty. So I gave him my water bottle and he ended up drinking the whole thing. But after he drank it, he looked at me confused and he basically asked, why was my water so sweet? And I realized that he didn't know what bottled water was. He didn't really understand the concept of clean water. They're used to drinking out of, like the sewer. And I know what's in that water. Just bad bacteria, and that's just what they're used to, and that's all they have. So do you say ciao, Wilbur? Ciao. Ciao. It was really difficult for me to come back in general, but just coming right back into soccer from that experience, coming to see the new field, I just remember sitting and looking at it and just being so in awe that I had this beautiful new field to play on that was just made in a year, where these kids have nothing, where they have a dirt field surrounded by a barbed wire fence. I mean, we have a perfect field with, 4 goals and cones, and they have these beat up soccer balls. And it just put things into perspective, really. It just made me realize how thankful that I should be for everything that I get, and just how much that I have that I don't even feel like I deserve. And it makes me go about my life differently. It makes me realize that I am just blessed and that I should, use my abilities to help others who don't have as much as I have. ¿Cómo estás? Bien. ¿Te gusta fútbol? Sí.
Well, in the past few seasons, Coach Craig Roberts has completely revamped the women's soccer program. He's already led them to more wins this season than they had all last year. Now, the team is young and growing with each game they play at the new Briner Sports Complex. So let's send it out to Kevin Thurman with the head coach himself, Craig Roberts. Kevin?
I'm out here with Coach Craig Roberts of the soccer team at the new Briner Sports Complex. Coach, you've had a fantastic season so far, off to a great start. Where do you see the program going?
Well, we're continuing to move everything in the right direction, and so we're delighted with that, how we're making progress. My freshmen are coming through very strong and being nurtured very well by the upperclassmen. We're starting 7 to 8 freshmen at a time right now, and so the future looks very bright with us being so young and having so many successful results.
Coach, we mentioned the brand new Briner Sports Complex that you get to play on this year. Quite an improvement from past years. How do you feel this new facility is treating the team?
I think the girls are greatly appreciative of having an opportunity to perform on an outstanding facility such as this, and the fact that we can come out here and practice and obviously have games. It's just a great opportunity for us, and we really appreciate the donations that have been made for this, and it's going to affect so many different girls over the next coming years with a pleasant opportunity to play sports at the highest level at Ball State.
Coach Roberts, you recently got your 50th career win. How much farther do you see your career going, and what does that say to your career so far?
Well, we just look to continue on. I mean, obviously it's we enjoy having the wins and so forth, and further wins to the losses for obvious reasons, but we'll just continue to keep taking strides and moving in the right direction. I love my job, I love the girls, and just continue to come to work and coach soccer and just enjoy having victories.
I'm Kevin Thurman, and that wraps it up here at the Briner Sports Complex.
Thanks, Kevin. Well, the sport of golf isn't usually known as an extreme sport. In fact, the only difference you might have when you play golf is what course you play on and what the weather's like. So it's not often you find a golfer that has an extreme pastime. But as Kyle Binder and Shane Moore tells us, that isn't the case for women's golfer Autumn Duke. In this story presented by Robbins Apparel.
I would say most of the time I knew I made the right choice. Like through high school, my goal was to play in college. So if you have a goal that's really big, and I never really thought about going back.
Unlike most athletes, junior golfer Autumn Duke didn't pick up her sport as a toddler. But like many athletes, she got started through her family.
Definitely my dad. He was a big golf influence, and he's what got me started, and he knew it kind of wasn't going anywhere, and he wanted me to be in a sport that I could continue on with for the rest of my life. So I would say my dad was definitely the biggest impact on golf.
She started playing competitively in 8th grade, but by her senior year, Duke had a decision to make, where to play in college.
My senior year, it was pretty much a last-minute decision. I chose Ball State, and once I came on my official visit, the official visits are like the most fun, but you get to really meet the team and coach, and this team and coach is definitely what made the process so exciting.
But 11 years ago, Duke began to grasp a different sport.
Oh, well, first I started out as an ice skater, and it's one of those things where you get burnout with, kind of like gymnastics or injured or something. So at age 9, I was definitely burnt out with skating, so I started at age 2. And a lot of people that I skated with, we all were still being homeschooled, so a good friend of mine, her dad owned a climbing gym, and so probably around age 10 is when I started competitively rock climbing.
She competed with a team but quickly ascended in the individual national rankings, placing 14th in her first national competition. The next year, 2nd.
It was that very next year when I was in the 14-15 category that Winning Worlds placed me on the USA team, and the top 4 from each category, men and women, get to go to the Worlds, which that year it happened to be in Scotland. So I went over there, and you compete with 32 different countries, have their teams there as well. And competition and setup-wise, it's pretty much the same thing. It's just the people you once competed against are now your team. So it's just like USA coming together and competing against different countries.
But while in Scotland competing, she missed 4 golf matches for her 8th grade team. This left Duke with another significant decision.
I knew when I got back, if I wanted to do golf competitively in high school and stuff, I was going to have to make a decision. And at that point, like rock climbing, it's not that it's not like going anywhere, it's just I knew I wanted to have the opportunity to play a sport in college. So right when I got back from Worlds, I completely gave it up, like the day I got back, and just decided to like go full on with golf.
She traded in her harness for clubs, but not her key trait to success.
Probably the biggest characteristic is just having like very just like tunnel vision, because in climbing you just have to like stay completely focused and not let any outside things affect you, and that's a really big thing with golf, is just like it's you in the course and just staying really focused.
It seems she's mastered it all, but there's still one thing she has yet to do.
I think coaching is the ultimate job. I think coaching in college would be awesome, so that's definitely an option too.
Well, heading in from the golf course to the confines of Worthen Arena. After last season's MAC championship run, the volleyball team had to replace one of its biggest pieces, senior CVU.com National Libero of the Year, Alyssa Rio. How do you do that? In steps sophomore Katie Frederick, who has taken to her role and is currently taking the MAC by storm. She's won 3 straight MAC West Defensive Player of the Week awards. Let's take a closer look at Katie Frederick.
I'm Katie Frederick. I play libero on the women's volleyball team. My role on the volleyball team is to be the best back row player out there. Basically, you run the backcourt out there, you help others out. So it's a pretty big role. Alyssa Rio, she was a National Libero of the Year, and I learned so much from her. It was a great experience, and she's still here this year, and she's also helping me out a lot this year. She just gives me a lot of advice about what she learned last year, and she knows a lot about me because we played in the backcourt together, so I like it a lot. I kind of have a little superstition. It's kind of like you'll never see me have a different hairdo or anything. It'll always be, I'll have pre-wrapping my hair with a ponytail. I'll never change it just because sometimes I feel like if I do, something will go wrong. It's just, I never change my hair when I play. My favorite hobbies without playing volleyball would probably be hanging out with friends, going to the beach. I like to swim, hanging out with my family and my 2 dogs. My sister's name is Chelsea and my brother's name is Calvin. My mom's name is Christine, which started with a C, so she just wanted to keep that tradition going. We have the same initials, CLF. I kind of like it, so it's interesting. When I get out of school and grow up, I want to work probably with the Green Bay Packers or a sports team in Wisconsin, because sports will be something throughout my whole entire life.
Heading back outside to the turf field, the field hockey team, they've had a few shaky seasons filled with a lot of inconsistency, struggling to get wins on the field, and last year having to deal with a brand new coach. However, for the seniors, this season marks the end of a journey, as Timmy Fogarty and Paul Weller tells us, from lining up across from each other in the International Field Hockey Club of Kentucky League to the turf field at Ball State. These seniors have been together for a very long time. And this story presented by Hit Country 102.5 WMDH.
College athletes come from everywhere, but for these 4 seniors from Louisville, they were very familiar with each other before coming to Ball State.
In Louisville, you kind of know each other's names. You hear them. You don't really know them personally until you play for IFIC, but you know them.
Devaney's High School was actually a really big rivalry too. It was another private institution, and it was always a big game. We always got really excited for it, and the whole team got really pumped up.
It was definitely an intense experience playing against the other girls, because you know how they play, and we usually would mark each other and play defense, 1v1 against each other. And when it's your friend, it gives you a little bit more fight. It gives you a little bit more energy to kind of be like, haha, I got the ball from you.
Despite knowing each other in high school, no one person's decision influenced the other.
I think CJ was the second one to commit after me, so I was very excited for that. And then Devaney and McGuire.
I made a decision on my own. Like, I came on my visit and really thought long and hard about it, and I kind of tried to separate the fact that she was coming here, because I didn't want it to be like, oh, I'm going to know someone. Like, I just, so I'm definitely glad that I had her coming into this. And like I say, it was a familiar face, but I don't think it really influenced my decision to come here. We pretty much made our decisions separately.
I always wanted to make my college choice based on what I wanted from a college, what I wanted from a program. But then having those girls, knowing that they were going to be there, knowing that I wasn't that far from home, and then also having that home element at school, it made it a lot easier.
However, it's not just seniors from Louisville. This year, a freshman joined the mix.
They just were so excited that I was coming, and then of course, like, all the other girls were just like, oh, another Louisville girl, and everyone was just like so pumped to have like another person from like their same area on the team, so they were just so excited.
I know, where Caitlin or CJ or Norse are going to pass the ball. Like, being able to read them and play with them, I think I'm going to miss the most.
We knew each other in high school and we were friends, but we became so much closer once we got here, and our team is a family, and that's the way it's always been.
We've been through good things and bad things together, so some of the greatest friends can come from that.
So it'll be a big adjustment to not be able to just walk downstairs to Devaney's room and talk to her, or call Caitlin and see what she's doing, or walk right across the hall and see Katie. I think it's been a really heartwarming experience, I guess, because it's something that we're able to see and always look back on and know that we did all these things together and shared these experiences.
We all came from Louisville, we all came from Ithic, but at the same time we all came from different backgrounds, we all came from different places. And then coming together and becoming a team, it's meant so much, and I'm never going to forget the girls that I've met and the girls I've played with, and they're the people that I'm going to remember years down the road.
Well, let's head back into the courts of Worthen Arena. The women's volleyball team, that's another team that's gone through a lot of change the past 2 seasons. New coaches, new players, and a whole new attitude. One of the new faces that's really come in the past 2 seasons and played well is sophomore Whitney Heeres. After playing a pivotal part with the team last season, Heeres returns with just as important part this season. But even though things are going well for her and the Cardinals, Heeres remembers that it's important to help those less fortunate. In this story presented by Table X.
Sophomore Whitney Heeres has always been passionate about helping others. Her dream came true this past summer as she traveled to Haiti to volunteer through the organization Love a Child.
We went up into the mountains every day and we set up a clinic for vaccines for children and mothers, and then also vitamins and medication. I was speechless. I didn't really know what to think, or you hear about it and you think it's going to be so bad, and then when you get there you're just taken back by everything.
Just the conditions that for some of those folks since that big earthquake disaster, it's horrendous.
Still a lot of devastation down there even now from it.
It's a pretty big culture shock to go and see people living in just tent cities just for miles, and to see people basically living in what we would consider a landfill.
It's hard to describe. You really have to see it to understand what it really is.
Heeres gained more than volunteer experience. She built relationships with people that she will never forget.
I loved interacting with the children. We went to an orphanage every night there, and they put on a little service, and we just sang and danced, or tried to sing. We didn't really know their language. Being able to interact that way with actions rather than words, it was just, it was incredible.
Heeres' grandfather instilled his love for Haiti in her at a young age. He was involved for 9 years and traveled there multiple times. After he passed away, she wanted to travel in his footsteps.
When she was a little kid, when you'd say your prayers at night, she would always remember to pray for the poor people and for the people in Haiti.
I'd say it was very important to her. It was something she's been wanting to do since she was a little kid, and something her grandfather was a part of.
I was really close to my grandpa, and growing up he would show us the videos from when he went over there and pictures, and he was very passionate about it, so I think he'd be excited and really proud that I got to go over there and just see what he helped build.
After her experience this past summer, Heeres hopes to return to Haiti again and possibly sponsor a child. For Ball State Sports Link, I'm Ashley Reed.
Our Sports Link in Focus features give a look at some of the everyday athletes that put on the Cardinal and white. This time we take a look at soccer defender Bridget Reeder.
My name is Bridget Reeder. I'm a junior and I play center back. I'm from Cincinnati, Ohio, the Westchester area. I would say my role on this team is not only a leader on the field but off as well. Coming in as a freshman, I was able to contribute minutes right away and help support this team in whatever aspect it needed. I feel that My role has kind of changed over the years, and now I'm in a captain's position, and that's completely different than it has been. I would say some of my biggest accomplishments for soccer, at least on paper, has been the MAC Weekly Honors that I received last year as a sophomore, and also this year as well, a couple weeks ago. That was when we were coming off from the Northern Arizona tournament, and in the Lamar game is when I had my hat trick and was able to help lead the team to a 5-1 win. I also received the MAC Scholar Athlete Award, so that's been really cool. But also, I think beyond just what's on paper, some of my biggest accomplishments have been, overcoming my back injury and other bumps that might have been along the way. Trying to juggle all that has been a challenge, but it's been awesome. The thing I enjoy most about my teammates is just how close we are and how at ease we are off the field and on the field as well. They're people I can count on through anything, and I know I'll have, in my life down the road as well.
The homecoming game is a fun time for all. Current students and alumni from all over come back to Muncie for food, fun, and of course some football. But before the Cardinals and Owls kicked off at Schumann Stadium, the festivities had already begun. Ben Wagner and I show you just some of the sights and sounds from homecoming weekend.
Excited to be here at homecoming. We're really pumped for the game. We've been out here since 11. We were in the parade. It's just a great day outside.
Second best day of the year other than Halloween.
It is great to be back. Just the camaraderie and just the excitement of homecoming here at Ball State is just really fun.
We graduated in 05 and we've been here every year since.
So what's your favorite part of homecoming?
The tailgating.
Is that your real hair? What's the answer?
It sure is, yeah. I just got a perm last week. It's an $80 perm, and you just got to, the perm's going out of style, so I had to keep it going.
How excited are you? He looks pretty excited to me. The homecoming game marked the halfway point of this football season, and it's hard to believe that basketball teams will soon be suiting up in Worthen Arena. Practices for both the men's and women's teams officially started this month. The men's team's defending MAC West champions, but the women's team, they're coming off a disappointing season. So now let's send it to Katie Hawkins, who's with the head women's basketball coach, Kelly Packard. Katie?
All right, I'm here with Coach Packard in Worthen Arena. Coach, you just finished up your first few days of practice. How's it been going?
I would say the energy's been outstanding. I think we've spent so much time this preseason on the culture and the atmosphere of where we get to come to every day, and that's developed over those 6 weeks and carried through, and it's been the most energetic start to a season that we've had since I've been here.
Absolutely. Your first game is on November 3rd, so you have plenty of time to keep preparing, but what do you want to see between now and then?
Offensively, I want to see us have some poise. Right now we're really working on patience, decision-making, reading the defense. So poise would be the thing offensively, and then you go the other direction defensively. You want to see a chaotic atmosphere. You want our defense to create chaos for the opposing offense. So really two different mindsets, poise on offense, chaos on defense.
You have anywhere from freshman to senior to choose from. Who is sticking out in your mind at this point? You haven't seen a whole lot of action, but who's really going to stand out on the court this year?
Well, I'll do some bookends. You obviously always go to veteran leadership, and so Amber Crago stands out to me. She's been selected one of our team captains. She's vocal, she's bossy, she leads by example, her work ethic's strong. On the other side of that bookend would be our freshman Brittany Carter. I think her aptitude for the game from the first day she's touched a ball with us has been obvious. She also has some early gifts of leadership that she's already stepped into.
All right, awesome. That wraps it up for Kelly Packard. I'm Katie Hawkins, and that's all in Worthen Arena.
Thanks, Katie. And if you want to stay on top of all your Ball State athletics news, be sure to head on over to Facebook and like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter at BSU SportsLink. Well, that's all the time we have for this month's edition of the Be a Fan Show. Be sure to head on over to bsusportslink.com for even more Ball State sports coverage. You can also catch us on WIPB, Comcast Indiana, and Fox College Sports. For our producers, Paul Weller and Katie Hawkins, and all of us here at Ball State SportsLink, I'm Chris Renkel. We'll see you next month.